Greetings, mighty companions. Anna Kujawa here, and we are doing a course in miracles today. We're doing Miracle Roulette, where we let Spirit decide through the random number generator what section we do. But first, we're going to do our opening meditation that allows us to just relax, quiet our minds, and open up to hear the voice for Spirit. So that's what we're going to do. So if you are not operating heavy machinery, go ahead and close your eyes and take a breath. And just breathe. And allow your mind to come back home to the right now. Bring your mind out of the past. Bring your mind from the future, remembering that now is the only time there is. Now. And let go of your day. Let go of everything that might be occupying your conscious mind. Let it all go. Just breathing in the perfection, the power of this moment now. We are practicing being present. Now. And see if you can allow your mind to empty and to really rest. A mind at rest is a mind that is not trying to think for itself or by itself. It's not planning. It's not analyzing. It's not defending. It's open to hear the voice for love within. So for a few moments, let us open our minds to listen to the voice for love within. It's been waiting to talk to us all day. We are practicing resting our minds. We are practicing calling to the voice for love within us. We are making a space for it. We are making the altar in our minds clear, clean of all the ego clutter that we have put onto the altar of our minds. I want you to imagine yourself clearing the altar to truth in your mind. I want you to imagine clearing it of all the fear clutter, the anger clutter, the guilt clutter. Push it off. And imagine the altar to God in your mind, open, clean, waiting, ready to receive what love wants to show you, what love wants to give you. And let us say to love, love, I forgot what to decide. I don't even know what to ask. I ask for your will. I ask for what you know that I need for peace right now. What is it you want to ask, love? Go ahead and ask love for what you want and you need. And I want you to see if you can feel love surrounding you, holding you up. I want you to see if you can feel love holding you and comforting you. I want you to see if you can hear love whispering in your ear. What does love say to you? What does the spirit of love feel like surrounding you, holding you up? No Don't forget to breathe. What does it feel like to allow yourself to be held by the spirit of love, the soul of love? What does that feel like? All love wants to do is love you. Are you willing to receive the love that loves you beyond the body, beyond conditions, beyond your fear? Are you willing to receive real love now? Breathe it in. Imagine this love that is holding you. Imagine it as a golden light within you, cleansing every thought of fear. Imagine this golden light of love purifying, cleansing every cell in your body. Imagine this loving light purifying your every thought from fear. Only love is real. Only love exists. You are love. You don't find love. You don't get love. You are love. Know thyself. Only love is real, and are you willing to forgive everything else that isn't real? Are you willing? How about now? Beautiful. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath. Bring your awareness back to the room, back to your body. Whoo-wee. Wow. I could have done that all night. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for taking the risk to come out to the Miracle Center. Thank you guys for joining on Facebook. I really appreciate your presence. And on Mondays, we do Miracle Roulette, where we let Spirit decide for us. what Spirit knows we need to hear from A Course in Miracles. And it's always a very interesting surprise and always perfect. So I've got the chapters of the text up in my random number generator, and I'm going to tap it to see what it is. Chapter 2 again, been a theme. Chapter 2, it was chapter 2 last week, chapter 2 this weekend. Lot of I get the message, Spirit. You want us to go back to the beginning. We thought we had progressed and evolved so much, and the truth is, Spirit's like, actually, you need to go back. You need to go back to the beginning. All right.
8 chapters.
Thank you. Isn't that weird? Last week we were in chapter 2, so let's see where we are this week. All right. Random number generator, don't fail us now. 7. Okay, so cause and effect. Very nice. All right, so chapter 2, and it's called Cause and Effect. Cause and effect. All right, so does anybody need a book? Anybody need a book? All right. Hi, Trisha. Lovely to see you. Hi, Carmen. And would somebody watching on Facebook be willing to type out Chapter 2, Section 7, Cause and Effect? If you are, thank you so much for doing that. So other people, thank you, Irene. This girl's fast. All right. So I'm going to read the paragraph, and then our goal here is, number 1, to hear what it's saying, which is a miracle in itself. What the heck did that just say? And then the second part is, how do we use that? How do we apply it? So those are the 2 things that I'm always going for in each paragraph. And I invite you to have that as a goal as well. If you've got something, if you can't see how you could apply what we're reading, but you'd like to, feel free to say, yeah, but how do I apply that to you know who or you know what? So feel free to do that. That helps everybody. So let's see what it says. So cause and effect. It says, you may still complain about fear. Isn't that funny? It was in the meditations a bunch about fear, letting it go. Interesting. You may still complain about fear, but you nevertheless persist in making yourself fearful. Indeed. I don't like the way it feels to be afraid. I complain about it, but I persist, nevertheless, in making myself afraid. Okay, great. Then the author, our teacher, says, I have already indicated that you cannot ask me to release you from fear. So our teacher's like, don't ask me to release you from fear. Release me from fear, Master. I'm not the one holding you in bondage. Release me, God. And so he says, don't ask your teacher to release you from fear. Why? Because our teacher says, I know fear doesn't exist, but you don't. So don't ask me to release you from fear. Our teacher says, I'm the one who knows it doesn't exist, not you. Okay? So it says, and then our teacher says, and if I intervened between your thoughts and their results, I would be tampering with a basic law of cause and effect. And what is the basic law of cause and effect? It is the most fundamental law there is. That's the most fundamental law there is, the law of cause and effect. Here's the cause, here's the effect, okay? And there are no effects without a cause, okay? So that's the most fundamental law there is. And our teacher is saying, if I took your fear from you, myself, then you would not learn the most basic law called cause and effect. When I choose this, I get that. When I choose this, I get that. When I choose fear, I get fear. When I choose the opposite of love, I get the opposite of love. So our teacher is saying, don't ask me to take your fear from you, or you'll never learn cause and effect. You'll never learn that you are choosing fear, here's the result, and you can stop choosing that and be free from the effect. But if your teacher does it for you, you don't know you have the power to do it. If your teacher does it for you, you don't know the power of your own mind to create. And how is that helping you? Okay. So our teacher wants us to learn what the most basic law of cause and effect. Okay, so when you've got fear, don't say, take it from me, teacher. What it says to do, he says, I would hardly help you if I depreciated the power of your own thinking. Okay, so it says, if our teacher depreciated the power of our own thinking, that would be in direct opposition to the purpose of this Course in Miracles. So what's the purpose of the Course in Miracles? That we would understand the true power of our mind, that we would understand the true power of our thought, that we would understand the true power of our choices. And what's the two choices to choose between? Love or fear. It's real simple. You're always choosing between love or fear. You're always thinking love or fear, and everything goes down to that. Okay? Wow. And that is our power. Understanding that really is our power. Now, it says, you may feel at this point it would take a miracle to enable you. Oh, sorry, I jumped ahead. Okay, so our teacher, then the teacher says, it is much more helpful to remind you that you do not guard your thoughts carefully enough. So instead of taking your fear from you, our teacher says, I'm not going to take your fear from you, but I am going to remind you that you are what? That you do not guard your thoughts carefully enough. So we don't really need our teacher to take our fear from us. We need to be more careful about watching our thoughts. What am I thinking? Love or fear? Guilt or innocence? So that's what our teacher is saying. I want to remind you that you do not guard your thoughts carefully enough. Okay? So what's the answer here? Guard your thoughts. Notice your thoughts. Notice your thoughts. You got something coming up, an issue? Watch your thoughts. You want something to change? Watch your thoughts. You want something new and different? Watch your thoughts. All right. He says, you may feel at this point it would take a miracle to enable you to guard your thoughts carefully enough. And indeed, that is perfectly true. It's going to take a miracle for us to guard our thoughts carefully enough. That's for sure. Okay? And he says the reason why it's going to take a miracle for any of us to guard our thoughts carefully enough is because we are not used to miracle-minded thinking. We're not used to miracle-minded thinking. We're not used to thinking like, there's nothing to fear. Only love is real. Everything else is just an illusion. There's nothing to fear. There is no sin. We're not separate. We're the same. We're not used to miracle-minded thinking. Right now, it's the afterthought when we're hurting. We're like thinking fear, 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 guilt, separation, fear, 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 get, fear, body, and then, what's my workbook lesson? Okay, then I'm going to go to the truth for some relief. So we're not used to miracle-minded thinking first. Okay, so we're not used to miracle-minded thinking, but we can be trained to think that way. And that's what A Course in Miracles is about. A Course in Miracles is a course in training your mind to think in a miracle-minded way. Okay, first, or second, or whenever. It says, all miracle workers need that kind of training. How to think. What would be miracle-minded thinking in this situation right now? Okay, that's what this Course in Miracles is trying to. It's a training manual for thinking in a miracle-minded way. Okay, that's what it's about. And remember, this is chapter 2, so we're still, this is foundational. The first few chapters is where the author is building the foundation of the thought system in your awareness. Okay, so we're back to basics. What are the basics? Basic law of cause and effect, most fundamental law there is. And your thinking, watching your thinking, guarding your thoughts is the kind of training that we all need. Watching our thoughts and then thinking in a miracle-minded way. Okay, yes?
So what he's saying here is all we need to do to experience a miracle is to watch our thoughts.
Yes, and also to say, what would miracle-minded thinking think right now? If I was thinking miracle-mindedly, what might I be thinking? Like, what would love say? What would the Spirit of Truth say? What would A Course in Miracles say? You know, and then changing your mind to think like that. Now, once you do that and you see the results, now you've learned, oh, the cause is my thinking and the effect is my life and whatever's going on right now. The most basic law, fundamental law there is. Thoughts are the cause, and everything you see or perceive is the effect. And the only way to change out there is the idea. Okay, so we want to ask ourselves, what would miracle-minded thinking say or think right now in this situation? It says all miracle workers need this kind of training. All of them. All of us. Okay? So we're going back to basics. All right. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So now we're on paragraph 2. Don't forget, you guys can ask questions online. Just do them in all caps, and you too as well. Now our teacher is speaking to us directly, and our teacher says, I cannot let you leave your mind unguarded. It's like, I cannot let you leave your mind unguarded for 1 minute, can I? The second I turn my back, you go back to guilt thinking, back to fear thinking. I cannot let you leave your mind unguarded. Why? Or you won't be able to help me, says our teacher. Wow. So our teacher needs our minds. Our teacher needs our miracle-minded thinking minds. Our teacher, that's interesting that our teacher needs us. It's like our teacher's like, I can't do this by myself. I need you. I need your clear, awakened, miracle-minded thinking mind.
Our guarded mind.
What do you say?
Our guarded mind.
Yes, exactly. The mind that we're watching. We're watching our mind. All right. It's a great practice for meditation is to watch your mind. You know, where you're watching it instead of it leading the train. Where you're watching it, oh, fear thought. Oh, guilt thought. Oh, there's a plan. Oh, there's an attack. Oh, there's a judgment. Oh, there's an analyzation. That's interesting. The Course in Miracles says, watching it like an oddly assorted parade going by. Okay, watching your mind. All right, this is the kind of training that we need because you will never understand why the things are happening in your life that are happening until you start watching your mind, your thoughts. Now, most of the times we're not watching our thoughts, we're watching other people's mind and thoughts, right? Look what they're doing. They need to, what we're watching their mind and watching their thoughts, for them. How nice. You know when somebody's watching their mind, they tend to be more silent. And so this is a training of tending our own minds, not trying to fix or change other people's minds. Okay? We're just doing that all day long, trying to change people's minds. You shouldn't feel like that. You shouldn't think like that. How come you see it like that? We're all about wasting our time trying to change other people's minds, right? When really, with the training, the Jedi Course in Miracles spiritual training is watching our own minds and asking for help. Because remember, it says you need a miracle to help you to watch your own mind, to guard your mind carefully enough. Ask for help. All right. Okay, any questions or comments on that? Bridget says, you are right. We don't think miracle-minded. Wake up, Bridget. Right on. That's a good way to talk to yourself. Okay, so now we are paragraph 2. Oh, yes. Okay, and so I'll just read that again. Our teacher says, I cannot let you leave your mind unguarded, or you will not be able to help me. Because miracle working entails a full realization of the power of thought in order to avoid miscreation. Okay, that's what miracle working is. I'm learning the power of thought. I'm learning, I'm fully realizing, I'm working on realizing the power of my thoughts. Okay, now if I don't know what I'm thinking, and I don't see the connection between what I'm thinking and what's happening, because I'm not even watching my mind, then I will never be able to work miracles. So that's what working miracles is. I'm watching my thoughts. I'm seeing the connection between what's in my mind and what's happening around me. And then I get it. That's creation. And it starts with me. I get it. Now I can work miracles. Now I can work miracles. Because I understand now how things work, how things go, where things come from, what things are. Now I know what that is, so now I can work miracles. I can help others release from fear, release from judgment. Okay, so I'll read that again. It says, miracle working entails a full realization of the power of thought in order to avoid miscreation. So if you want to avoid creating some crap that's going to hurt you, this is the way you avoid making crap, making things that hurt you. This is the way you do it. Because if you're miracle-minded thinking, which means you're watching your thoughts, then you can catch that thought and have it be corrected for you before it manifests. How about that? You know, that's a miracle. When you catch the fear, the anger, the guilt, the grievances, and you go, oh, no, that's not what I want. I ask for the correction. I ask for the correction for that thought. Spirit, here, please take that murderous thought. I don't want it at all. I ask for your correction for that. What would miracle-minded thinking think right now? Okay. Now you can have that thought be corrected before it manifests in your life. And that is a miracle. Okay, you want to catch it. You want to catch it before it extends from you and manifests in form. Yeah, all right. That's the benefit of watching your mind, of guarding your mind. What does he say? Guarding your thoughts carefully enough. That's the benefit. That's the training. That's the practice. That's the power. That's the healing. All right. So that's great. So That's all we got to do in order to avoid miscreation. Otherwise, a miracle will be necessary to set the mind itself straight, which is a circular process that would not foster the time collapse for which the miracle was intended. Okay, what does that mean? If ever you're like, what the hell does that mean? Just keep reading. Go, which means the miracle worker must have genuine respect for true cause and effect as a necessary condition for the miracle to occur. Okay, so he's just telling us how miracles, the necessary condition to have a miracle occur. So to me that goes, okay, well, where is it I need a miracle? Well, I need a miracle here. I need a miracle here. Okay, great. So how do we apply that into the area where I need a miracle right now? Okay. So what's the necessary condition for a miracle to occur? Me doing what? Having a genuine respect for true cause and effect. So that would be like, all right, I'm going to take a look at my thoughts right now. I'm going to be honest. Be honest. Sometimes we don't want to be honest about our thoughts. Have you ever noticed that? You know, we don't want to look at our own thoughts. We want to believe that we are further along, more enlightened, more loving, more conscious than we may be at that moment. Okay? But if you're really serious about wanting a miracle to occur, meaning one happens for you, then you look within, you get quiet, stop talking, and look at your own thoughts and ask for the correction. Also, look at your thoughts and see if you can notice a connection between your thoughts and what is happening around you. Okay? See if you can see that connection. Now, when you look at your thoughts, yeah, all right, I got a lot of fear, I got a lot of anger going on, a lot of guilt going on, right? Like a lot of guilt thoughts right now. Oh, okay, that makes sense why I've got some things going on in my life that feel like they're punishing or whatever. All right, and now I ask for the correction from higher self of those thoughts. That is the necessary conditions for miracles to occur. So you don't have to figure out how to make a miracle. All you got to do is work on the conditions. And the conditions start with your thoughts. Okay. Definitely going back to basics here. But as long as we still got stress and suffering, then we still got to go back to the basics. We're still forgetting that the training here is guarding your thoughts, watching your thoughts carefully enough so that you can stop manifesting what you don't really want, what hurts. If you want a pattern or something to stop, you're going to have to go to the source. You're going to have to go to the source, and that's your thoughts. All right. Beautiful. Demi says, full realization, power of thought to embark on miracles. Exactly. Wonderful. All right, so my invitation to you guys is, as I'm doing, to ask yourself, where is it I need a miracle in my life? Where is it in my life I need a miracle where I haven't really been watching my thoughts? I've been watching everybody else's stuff. I've been focusing on their thoughts, their bodies, their actions, their mistakes, their behavior, and not on my own thoughts. Okay? That's the area where you're going to need a miracle. Okay. All right. Okay, now we're in paragraph 3. It says, both miracles and fear come from thoughts. And if you are not free to choose one of them, miracles or fear, then you would also not be free to choose the other one. What is it? Both miracles and fear come from thoughts. If you're not free to choose one, you're not free to choose the other. If you're not free to choose fear, then you're not free to choose love. In other words, if fear wasn't your choice, it just happened to me. I didn't choose that. If fear is not a choice, it just happens to you, then you also aren't free to choose love. So, that it's gonna be like, okay, this is fear and I chose it. I don't remember how, I don't remember when, but somehow I chose it. And because I chose it, and obviously I'm free to choose fear and all that comes with it, I'm obviously free to also choose something else. I freely chose this fear myself, and so I can freely choose otherwise. And I want to decide otherwise because I don't want to be in fear right now. That's the formula for the mind change. That's the necessary conditions for the miracle to happen. Whoop, there it is. Didn't even have to figure it out. It just like that. All you have to do is the conditions and then it comes of itself. All right, any questions on that? Any questions on that? Okay, beautiful. It says, by choosing the miracle, you have rejected fear, if only temporarily. So that's what the miracle means. Temporarily, I didn't choose fear. I chose love. I chose the miracle instead. It says, you have been fearful of everyone and everything. Okay, did it say most things? Did it say most people? It said everyone and everything. Let's just blanket statement there. You have been fearful of everyone and everything. All right, I cop to that. Okay, great. For instance, you are afraid of God. You are afraid of me, says our teacher, and you are afraid of yourself. That's what it means to say you have been fearful of everyone and everything. What that also means is that you have misperceived or miscreated us, and you have believed in what you've made. Okay? So we have misperceived us, God, and each other. We've misperceived each other and ourselves with fear, and we have believed in our misperception. Okay? I'm afraid of you. I'm misperceiving you. I'm misperceiving and fearing everyone and everything, and believing in my misperception. That's the state of affairs. I have misperceived. How do I know? Because there's fear. And I'm 100% convinced of that I'm right. As a matter of fact, the more upset I am, the more right I feel. Okay. Says we have misperceived everyone and everything and believed in what we've made. Wow. And that's why the world is in the state that it is in. Okay? We have feared. What is it saying? It's saying you have been fearful of everyone and everything. We have been choosing fear. I think fear would be the best choice here. I'm going to go with fear. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because, that's what makes you safe, and that's what makes you seem strong, and basically that will protect you. So I'm going to go with the fear. I'm going to go with fearing everyone and everything, because, that's a sign of intelligence, and that's what keeps you safe. So we've chosen fear instead of the miracle. And and both come from thoughts. Both the miracle and fear come from thoughts, okay? And that's what we're choosing between. I can either have this fear and believe in it, or I can have a miracle. That's my choices there. And how you feel lets you know what you chose. And that's all. It says, how do I feel is the one right use of judgment. How do I feel is the one right use of judgment. So how you feel lets you know whether you chose fear or the miracle. All right, so we're section 2, We're chapter 2, section 7, and paragraph 3. Now, I notice here it says to choose the miracle, you have rejected fear. So, what an interesting concept. You could reject fear right now. You know, I could reject fear. Like, I have this perception of like fear takes me over, you know, and now I'm at fear's mercy, you know, and now I'm just stuck being afraid or being angry. And this is saying that when you choose the miracle, you are rejecting fear. So really, when you choose a loving thought, when you choose a true thought, you are literally rejecting fear. You don't have to accept it. Fear is something that will force itself upon you, but that you can reject. You don't have to say yes to that. Even if the whole world says, no, you got to be afraid of that. You know you do. Everybody does, or else you're crazy. Even that, you can still reject fear. I don't need to choose fear to be safe right now. I don't need to choose fear to receive miracles, to receive love and abundance. I don't need fear to be happy. I don't need fear to be safe. I don't need fear to protect me. Fear is not necessary. It's just a thought. Okay? And I can either have the fear or I can have the miracle. Those are my two choices. Yes?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that something that I've definitely benefited from already, going back to the basics here, is that is seeing that I am using my miracle impulses, my mind training, watching, but I'm doing it in this circular fashion that he said at the end of the last paragraph. I'm doing it to fix my own bullshit.
Yes, right.
Rather than but it's training ground.
Yes.
Such that once I'm beyond having to watch myself all the time, that same training can go on to allowing me to become a miracle worker writ large.
Exactly. Beautiful. Yes, we are in a training. This is a training. We were reading this weekend that readiness is not mastery, and that we are slowing ourselves down as teachers and healers by forgetting that readiness does not mean mastery. We are in a training program where we're training our minds to go first into our own minds, our own thoughts. Like staying on our side of the street, basically, watching your own thoughts, your own mind, and learning that you do not have to have fear. You do not have to choose fear. You are not a victim of fear. Fear is a thought, and fear is a choice. And it's not the only choice, and you're not a victim of it. The fear is a thought. I thought that was interesting too. Fear is a thought. Oh, it's a thought. Oh, it's just I thought it was like a big, scary monster that takes you over and then it eats you alive, and you're at its mercy. You can't just say no to fear. And this is saying, yeah, fear is a thought that is in your own mind, that is one alternative. And if you don't want fear and all of its effects, then you choose the other alternative, which is the miracle, which is the loving thought, the guiltless thought. And that's how fear ends. And maybe you can end it before it has spawned its miscreations. That's when you're like, oh, I'm getting faster. Okay, I'm getting better at this training program. I'm catching it faster. I'm watching my thoughts better. I'm guarding my thoughts better. I'm getting faster at catching it before it goes out and wreaks havoc in the world and in my life and in my body. Okay? That's what we're being trained to do. Mind watchers, thought watchers, thought choosers. That's what we're being trained to do and to be. That's where real power comes from, and that is the true creative power as well. You want to find your power, you want to access your power, you want to feel the power that you have, that's the way to do it. Because when you know the true cause and effect relationship, and you know that you have a choice in your thoughts, which is really manifesting, causing, now you have the power. Now you have the power that you thought that the world had over you. And you suffered because of that. Now you realize, no, I have the power. So now I don't need to be afraid of everyone and everything. You know, if you don't think you have the power, of course you're going to be afraid of everyone and everything. Because now everyone and everything could have power over you. So as you learn where you have the power, then you won't be fearful of everyone and everything. Isn't that good to just go, yeah, that's true, man. I've been afraid of everyone and everything. It's just like, it feels like such a relief and a release to just say that. You know, I have misperceived everyone and everything. I've misperceived God, myself, and others. You know, in other words, I feared them. I feared it. Instead of going, wow, I'm choosing fear. Interesting choice there. I'm choosing fear. Oh, and I don't have to. Okay, I don't like the way it feels. It really doesn't feel good at all. I'm gonna choose otherwise. And then miracles. Oh, I am the one who's at cause. I am the one with the power in my life. Not them, not that, not that, not that. That's the training program here. Okay. All right, how you guys doing out there? Hi, Jerry. Trisha says, it's Greg's birthday. Almost. His birthday is on the 22nd. Hi, Melanie, honey. Melanie also says, happy birthday, Greg. All right. And Jerry says, it's not the monster under the bed. Wonderful. And Bridget says, I have misperceived everyone and everything. I've chose wrongly. Now I choose love. Beautiful. Okay, everybody take a breath. Whoo-wee. Okay. Now, it says you're afraid of God and of me and of yourself. In other words, you've misperceived or miscreated us, and you believe in what you made. Now, you would not have been feared everyone and everything if you were not afraid of your own thoughts. So that's what we were saying. Okay, I'm afraid of everyone and everything because I'm afraid of my own thoughts. Okay. I'm afraid of everyone and everything because I don't see my own thoughts because I never look at them. I'm looking at other people all the time. Okay, so it says those who are afraid of their own thoughts, the fearful must miscreate, because those who are afraid of their own thoughts, they misperceive creation. In other words, if you're afraid of your own thoughts and you're afraid, you're misperceiving everything. Fear is the ultimate distorter of perception. It'll never be that you're afraid, but you're seeing correctly. Never. If you're afraid, you're not going to see anything correctly, but you're going to think you do, and you're going to be willing to fight over it until you've suffered enough. But when you have fear, you are not correctly perceiving anything. And that should be like basic number one. That's why this is in the 2nd chapter, to the point where you go, I am not at peace, I have fear, so I'm not seeing anything correctly, so I'm not going to believe anything I see, and I'm certainly not going to kill anybody over it. Because I know if I'm afraid, I'm not seeing correctly. Okay? In that moment, I really am being a fool. I'm not seeing correctly. I'm ignorant, but I'm arrogant. And the Course in Miracles says that's a particularly dangerous combination where you're totally ignorant, but you're totally grandiose. You know nothing, but you think you know it all. The most dangerous, the particularly dangerous combination, grandiosity and ignorance. And when you are in fear, you are in that dangerous state. You know, you don't know anything, but you think you know it all, and you're ready to fight over it. Wow. So what we're learning here is to go, I'm afraid, I'm not seeing things correctly, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to try to make anything. I'm not going to defend myself, and I'm not going to believe what I'm seeing right now. I'm going to sit my butt in this chair, and I'm going to feed myself some truth. And then when the fear passes, which also goes by the name of anger, guilt, grievances, then maybe I'll think about doing something. Got that? When you're afraid, you are not thinking, you're misperceiving, you're not going to be making good choices. You're going to be making choices based on you didn't know what was really going on. And so save yourself the trauma of being real busy and active while you're afraid. Save yourself. Save yourself time, save yourself money, save yourself heartbreak. Sit your butt down and go, I am afraid, I am not perceiving correctly, and I'm not going to do anything except sit here and listen to the truth and wait till the fear, aka anger, guilt, grievance, whatever, passes. Now that is good, sound, basic training, Course in Miracles 101. Okay? All right. Now, if you need to give your car keys to your friend, then do it. You know, here's my car keys. I do not want to leave the house and go to try to run over you know who while I'm obviously misperceiving. Here's my keys. Don't let me leave this house while I'm afraid, because I'm gonna go out there and cause some trouble. Whatever you do. Whatever you look at while you're afraid, you're gonna misperceive it. And if you take action, it's not gonna be coming from correct perception, and you'll just cause problems. Now, remember that A Course in Miracles says that there's two emotions, love and fear. So we are so well trained to go, well, I'm not afraid. I'm an adult, so I'm not afraid. You know, we're so used to going, well, I'm not afraid. A Course in Miracles tells us that the ego is willing to cop to anything except fear. The ego will let you say, I'm pissed off, I'm confused, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm hurt. But it won't let you say, I'm scared, I'm afraid. It won't let you do that. It'll let you say anything before that. So any negative emotion is fear. And that's what the Course in Miracles is training us. Stop wasting your time calling your negative emotions something besides what it really is. It's fear. I'm afraid of them. I'm afraid of my own thoughts. I'm afraid of what might happen. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of what did happen is going to happen again. I'm afraid. That's what's going on. And that's a thought. And it's a choice. And thank God I have a choice. And so, choose once again. Wow. All right. Okay. So now it says, we're still in paragraph 3, and it says, when you miscreate or when you misperceive, you are in pain. It's real clear. How do you know if you're misperceiving? Is there pain in your experience? It'll get you out of denial real fast. We're so good at being in denial and deceiving ourselves. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm seeing it correctly. Oh, really? Is there any pain in your perception? Pain in you? Pain in them? Any pain around? Yeah. Okay, that's how you know you're misperceiving. Okay? Basic Course in Miracles 101. Now, it says, now the cause and effect principle now becomes a real expediter, which means save you some time, though only temporarily. Actually, cause is a term properly belonging to God, and God's, quote, effect is God's children, God's son. And this entails a set of cause and effect relationships totally different from those you introduce into miscreation. What the heck does that mean? In other words, the fundamental conflict in this world then is between creation and miscreation. All fear is implicit in the second, and all love is implied in the first. The conflict is therefore one between love and fear. That's what it all comes down to. You know, I think I got a money conflict. I think I got a relationship conflict. I think I got a job conflict. I think I got a body conflict, a health conflict. He's saying basically all conflict, the fundamental conflict in this world is between love or fear. What's it going to be? Love or fear? That's what it all comes down to. I'm in conflict. Why? Because I've chosen fear, not love. That's what's really going on. I chose fear instead of love. I said, love, F you. And I went with fear, you know, because of what I learned in the past. And that's the basic conflict in the world. So wherever in your world or your life right now that you need a miracle, that's where you want to look at your thoughts to see where there are the love thoughts and the fear thoughts. And noticing which ones you've been using, which ones you've been choosing. And then notice the connection. Notice the connection between the fear thoughts and the consequences, the effects, which is your world, your life. And then, like Course in Miracles says, and then choose once again. So that's what A Course in Miracles tells us. It says that in every conflict, every one of them, no exception, that your higher mind, Holy Spirit, is calling to you saying, choose once again. Choose once again. No guilt. No judgment. Did you like to choose again? Awesome. Wonderful. No? Okay, great. How about now? How about now? Would you like to choose again? That came from your choice. No judgment, no guilt. You're innocent. Would you like to choose again? Awesome, great. Oh, look at the amazing results. That's really the real meaning of the problem. It's spirit sitting there going, would you like to choose again? You're totally innocent. You're totally innocent. There is no sin. Don't feel bad. We've all misperceived everyone and everything here, okay? That's the ticket in. That's the ticket here. You got to misperceive everyone and everything. Right? Or else you wouldn't want to be here. You would not want to be here. So that's the real meaning of every conflict. Choose once again. Would you like, you have chosen fear, that's why you're in pain, and would you like to choose love? No? Okay, great. Well then you'll get another chance then. You never run out of chances. But it says that the cause and effect principle can really save you time. If if you are tired of waiting on time, how long things are taking, or how little time you feel you have, and you want to save yourself some time learning the cause and effect principle, it'll save you time. You know, you can get it fast. I look at my thoughts, I got pain, I look at my thoughts, I change up, boom, I get my miracle fast. Now, I could do that slow, but, you know, when you're really looking at the cause of your experience and your thoughts, that will enable you to choose better sooner. All right. Okay. How you guys doing out there? Hi, Julie. Thanks for the hearts. And hi, Eveline. Lovely to see you. And hi, Marjorie. All right. Everybody take a breath. Whoo-wee. Good stuff. We're going back to the basics in A Course in Miracles. The most fundamental law there is the law of cause and effect. And what is the cause? It's our thoughts. And what are the thoughts to choose from? Love or fear. So, and that's why that's why we always retain our essential power. Nothing can take from us our true power, our true creative power, because nothing can take from us our ability to choose again when we realize we've chosen fear. Nothing can take from us that. Nothing. And so nothing can take from you your basic power over your experience. I love that. No matter what seems to be happening. All right, now we're in paragraph 4. Here we go. Paragraph 4. It has already been said that you believe that you cannot control fear because you yourself made it. And your belief in fear, in other words, seems to render fear out of your control. Okay? So it does, remember what was the first sentence? It seems like fear is involuntary, right? Wasn't that the first sentence? It seems like fear is involuntary. And this is saying that it seems like we don't have control over our fear because we believe in it. That's how I got there. We believed in the fear. We think it's real. That's what makes us feel like we don't have any control over fear. So it seems like fear is involuntary. It don't seem like I chose that fear. I didn't choose that fear. It just was involuntary. Okay? And this, of course, says the reason that it seems to be out of our control is because we believe in the fear because we made it. That's how we made the fear. So once I stop believing in the fear, then it won't have that control over me. I won't feel so at the mercy of my fears. You ever felt at the mercy of your fears? That's because we feel like we don't have control over our fear because we still believe in our fear. Okay? Now, then it says, yet any attempt to resolve the error through attempting the mastery of fear is useless. So I got fear, I feel like I don't have any control over it, and it says that trying to control your fear is useless. We read this past Saturday. Isn't that the weirdest thing? This is a random number generator. We read this on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Spirit's like, because you need it. Wow. All right. So it's saying that, you know, that trying to master your fear is useless. Okay? If you ever had that, like, I'm going to master my fear. It says that's useless. Why? Because when you try to master your fear, it's asserting the power of the fear by the very assumption that the fear need be mastered. So fears don't need to be mastered. Okay? And that's not the way to overcome your fears. So think about it for a moment. What are some of your fears? What are you afraid of? Think about those fears. It says that attempting to master your fear is useless. Okay, so what do I do with my fears if mastering my fear is not the answer? Well, it says, because when you're trying to master your fear, what you're saying is fear is real, fear is real, fear is real, fear is real, it's big, it's real, and it's out of my control, and I have to master it. It's separate from me. It's coming upon me uninvited, and now I have to master it. That's basically what you're asserting when you go for mastery, trying to master your fears. So I want you to think about this as we're going through this. What are your fears? So that you can hear the way that fears are undone. Okay? Then it says, the true resolution of your fears rests entirely on mastery through love. So instead of trying to overcome my fears, instead of that, I'm going to focus on how can I be loving right now? How can I be loving right now? What would it take for me to be loving right now? It says, that is where the true resolution of your fears happens. How can I be loving right now? Mastery through love. So the way fears get dissolved and resolved is loving. Loving them, loving yourself, loving God, loving yourself, even though obviously you're misperceiving, loving them, even though they're obviously misperceiving. You know, you don't have to wait till you're perceiving correctly or loving. You don't have to wait till somebody else is perceiving correctly to love them. You don't have to wait till they done it all right. And you don't have to wait till they said sorry to love, to offer love. And as soon as you do offer and extend that love, then the fear dissolves. Fear cannot exist in the presence of love because they are opposites. So if you want to get rid of or overcome fears, love is something that resolves or undoes fear. How? Because love, correct perception, shows that fear isn't real. Whatever fear is showing you isn't real. As A Course in Miracles is teaching us. What is your fear showing you right now? My fear is showing me this, my fear is showing me that, and my fear is showing me this, and my fear is showing me that, and them, and my fear is showing me this, and my fear is showing me that. Okay? And then, of course, the Miracle says that fear is the ultimate liar. That's what fear is. It's just the perfect liar. That's all it does. Fear is a lie. Fear is proof of self-deception. Just like pain is proof of self-deception. Because what love shows you, what love knows about you, what love knows is true, would never frighten you. What love shows you, what love knows is true, would only make you happy. So whatever fear is showing you is not real, is not true. That's what we're learning. And that's how you master fear. So I feel like I've lost control over my fear, and like my fear has control over me because I believe in my fear. I think it's telling me the truth. My fear says, you better protect yourself. You're vulnerable. You better protect yourself. You know, somebody's going to hurt you again. You better watch out. You better be afraid. And what fear is telling me is a lie. Whatever fear says is a lie. And fear is just trying to stay in business. That's why it's telling me what it's telling me. That's why it's showing me what it's showing me. You know, it's trying to stay alive. That's what it's really doing. That's what's really going on. The ego feels threatened because love and truth is coming closer, because we've invited it, and ego is freaking the F out. And so when the ego feels threatened, it goes, fear! You fear this, and fear that, and fear them, and fear God, and fear yourself, and be afraid. That's what the ego does when it feels threatened. It deploys its defense mechanisms. And that's what fear is. That workbook lesson in the course, it goes, there is nothing to fear. I was like, what? Come on now. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. It literally says, there is nothing to fear. Why? Now I see in this holy instant I get it. Because there is nothing to fear. Why? Because fear is nothing but a thought. And an untrue, unreal thought that I have chosen in my freedom. In my freedom, I have chosen fear. So, beautiful. That was paragraph, okay. So we're still in paragraph 4. The true resolution rests entirely on mastery through love. In the interim, however, before you master through love, however, the sense of conflict is inevitable. Why? Since you have placed yourself in a position where you believe in the power of what doesn't exist. Yes, the true resolution and the true mastery is through love, but in the meanwhile, which no telling how long that's gonna be, in the meanwhile, you're still gonna feel a lot of conflict. You're gonna have a sense of conflict, and that's inevitable. Why? Because you're believing in the power of what doesn't even exist. So, of course, you're gonna have conflict until you master fear through love. Until in the face of fear, you choose to love. And until you've done that, then yeah, you're going to be afraid of everyone and everything, yourself, others, and God, because you are still believing in the power of what doesn't exist. Wow, isn't that deep? When you are afraid, or angry, or hurt, or sick, or broke, all those synonyms, you are believing in the power of what does not exist. It's so interesting that in the opening meditation, when I did not know what we'd be doing, the opening meditation, the theme was, only love is real. And so I see that's how I work on practicing mastery through love. So when I'm afraid and I'm in conflict, what I'll remind myself of is only love is real. Whatever else is going on besides love is not true. It's not real. It's not true. It's just make-believe. And that makes me feel better, because now I don't need to be afraid. I need to be afraid because what if it's not loving, it ain't real, which means it ain't true, which means it's not lasting. It's not accurate. That's not an accurate interpretation of reality. Only love is real. So to me, that's what the mastery through love really comes down to. I'm afraid, and instead of trying to control my fear or suppress my fear or project my fear or run away from my fear or hide my fear, I tell myself the truth. Only love is real. Only love is true. And everything else is just my own nightmare right now. So what should I do in the interim? Sit my crazy butt down and don't do anything. Don't go out there and try to correct people and fix yourself and fix them and change them. And just sit down and tell yourself the truth or listen to the truth. Only love is real. Only love is real. Only love is true. Whatever else is going on, it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie that my ego is telling me to stay in business. And it's a lie my ego is telling me because it feels threatened. It can feel the love and the truth coming closer, and it's freaking out. And that's why it's like, be afraid, defend yourself, protect yourself. All right. Tell it like it is, Course in Miracles. Wow. Bridget says, ego deploys more fear to keep you fearful. Yes, LOL. Hi, Yitzi. Yitzi says fear is not believing. What we're hearing here, Yitzi, is that fear is a thought that we are believing in, and that's why it seems to have power over us. And we don't have to believe in this thought called fear. That's what I hear saying, Yitzi. Beautiful. And Carla says, I will be still and listen to the truth.
Fear only creates more fear. When you make a decision out of fear, then you have to make another decision out of fear.
That's exactly. Fear begets fear.
Yeah.
Fear begets fear. All right. Wow. Okay. So that was paragraph 4, and it's 8:20. So, okay, so I'm just going to read paragraph 5 because it's like the crescendo answer to this. And I apologize if I go over a little bit, and feel free to turn the video off if it's going too long, and feel free to leave when you need to. Paragraph 5, nothing and everything cannot coexist. It's the same as saying fear and love cannot coexist. Fear and love cannot coexist. Nothing and everything cannot coexist, which means to believe in one is to deny the other. Fear is really nothing, and love is everything. Period. Boy, is that a statement of a lifetime. Fear is really nothing, and love is everything. All right? Now, whenever love or light enters the darkness is abolished. Talking about love and fear, and then it goes into light and darkness. And it says, now what happens when light enters the darkness? What happens to the darkness? It's abolished. It's gone. It's just gone. Same thing with love and fear. Same thing that happens to the darkness in this room when you flip on the light is exactly what happens to fear when you choose love. The fear is gone. Where'd it go? It's never really real. Where does the darkness go when you turn on the light in the room? Now, then it says, what you believe is true for you. What you believe is true for you. That don't mean it's true in reality, but it's true for you. Okay? What you believe is true for you. And then we're so crazy that we're like, well, it's true for me, that means it's true for you. And no, it's not the way it works. What you believe is true for you, but that don't mean it's true in reality. What you believe is true for you. And in this sense, the separation has occurred. And to deny the separation is merely to use denial inappropriately. Okay? So, and it says, however, to concentrate on the error is only a further error. All right, so what is he saying here? That what you believe is true for you. And so for you, the separation really did occur. The ego really did occur for you, for us who believe in it, okay? So, and it says, so to waste time trying to pretend that it didn't happen or that you don't believe it happened is a waste of time. So in other words, trying to pretend that you don't believe in the ego is a waste of time. We know you believe in the ego. You know, what you believe in is true for you. I believe in the ego, so it's true for me. So he says, but then to concentrate on the error of the ego is only a further error. The initial corrective procedure is to recognize temporarily that there is a problem, but only as an indication that immediate correction is needed. And this establishes a state of mind in which the correction can be accepted without delay. Okay, so this is the what? This is the initial corrective procedure. Okay, I need an initial corrective procedure. I hope it's not too painful. This is a corrective procedure that's not invasive. It doesn't hurt. You don't have to go to the doctor's office. This is a corrective procedure. And the corrective procedure goes like this. I recognize temporarily that there's a problem. I mean, in reality, there's not a problem, but I think there is, so you better acknowledge it. Don't be in denial. Go, I think there's a problem, okay? I believe there's a problem. But you're only acknowledging that there's a problem, as an indication of immediate correction. So, and I know in reality there's no problems, but there's a problem in my perception. And all it means is that I need immediate correction. That's it. I'm not wrong. I'm not an idiot. I'm not a failure. I'm not a fool. There's a problem because there's pain in my perception. And all it means is I need immediate correction. That's all it means. No judgment, just a corrective procedure. So that totally leaves all the judgment out. There's a problem, at least to me. In my perception, I'm not going to be in denial about that. Like, oh, it's all good. When really, I see a problem in my perception where I've got pain. And then to do what? And then to go, I'm calling for love. I'm calling for correction. I need immediate correction. I got a problem. I need immediate correction. That's all that's going on. Okay? It says, and when you do that, that establishes a state of mind in which you can accept the correction without delay. Whew! Would you like to accept the correction of this problem, this pain, without delay? Like not 5 more minutes, okay? You can accept the correction of the problem that you think is real, obviously, by the pain you feel, and you can accept correction for it without delay. If you'll do that procedure. That's all A Course in Miracles is, just a curriculum. All right. So I'm going to stop here just because it's almost time. It's 8:27, so I'm going to stop here, but I just wanted to get us at least to the answer. All right. So, beautiful. All right. So, just curious, what is something that you heard that you really would like to remember and use walking out of this class today? What did you hear that was helpful?
Guard your thoughts and experience a miracle.
Guard your thoughts and experience a miracle. Amen to that.
And nothing and everything can exist at the same time.
Nothing and everything cannot exist.
Yeah.
So if you're experiencing the pain of nothingness, then you know what to do. Call upon the everything. If you're experiencing the pain of nothingness, called fear, call on the love, which is everything, and then the pain and the darkness is abolished, like that.
And when my unguarded thoughts have led me into pain, at least I can decide that I do not like how I feel now. And so I hope that I'm wrong.
Exactly. That also is an initial corrective procedure. Exactly. Yeah. All right. And the whole thing about fear was really interesting tonight too. All that stuff about fear. Fear and love. Fear and love. The only two alternatives. All right. So, how about you guys? You guys doing okay? All right. Bridget says, fear is not real and I can change my mind. Amen to that. All right. So what we're going to do now is announcements, and then we're going to do our integration meditation, which we always end with, where we take the ideas and we close our eyes and we use them. So, announcements are I do 2 live streams a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, which is soon going to shift to Mountain Standard Time. On Mondays, for now at least. I'm not sure how long here at the Miracle Center. They just changed the ordinance in Denver. You're only supposed to have 5 people.
They did?
And so it may be that you might get a notice from me next week saying that it's all online again. I don't want to get the Miracle Center in trouble. So stay tuned. You guys here in your bodies here at the Miracle Center, stay tuned to my Facebook feed. Or if you're wondering, just text me before class. Is class happening? So I need to check in with the Miracle Center and see what is the right thing to do. Okay? All right. So, but for you guys watching online, it's all the same. Mondays and Wednesdays, 7 to 8:30 p.m. On Wednesdays, I do A Course in Miracles, the complete and annotated edition. And then Greg does a wonderful class on Tuesdays at Miracle Park, where he does a beautiful synthesis of the Bible and A Course in Miracles. So check that out. Tuesdays, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. All right. Check out my website, kujawa.com, to learn about my holistic counseling practice, Miracle Psychotherapeutics. And also, if you want to see more of my classes in a much more organized format, you can go check out my YouTube channel. And my last name right now is spelled Kujawa. Okay? All right. Enough of that. Now we're going to do the integration meditation, where we take the ideas, close our eyes, and we try to use what we heard. So I just want you to breathe. Just bring your mind back into the present moment if it wandered off somewhere. Okay. I want you to bring to your awareness something that you've been experiencing fear with. Where's the fear that you've been experiencing in your life, in your world, in yourself, in your relationships? Where is it? Bring it to your awareness. What are those fears that maybe they take another form, like anger or sickness or brokenness or depression or anxiety, but we're just going to call it what it is. Where is it and how is it that you feel that you've lost control over this fear, like it has power over you? Beautiful. Now I want you to just do a very brief inventory on how you've tried to master this fear. All the ways you tried to control this fear. Suppression, repression, projection, hiding, you name it. What are the ways you've tried to master your fear? And how did that work out? We're learning cause and effect. Did your fear go away? If it did go away temporarily, did it come back? How did trying to master your fear work for you? All right. Now, whatever the problem is, let's go ahead and tell ourselves the truth about it. This is fear. This problem is fear. Call it what it is. Now, tell yourself the truth. This fear is a thought that I chose. Nobody chose it for me. It didn't happen to me. This is fear, and it is a thought that I chose to have, to think. And now tell yourself, because I have the freedom and the power to choose this fear, I also have the power to choose love. And in this holy instant, I choose again, and I choose love over fear. And then tell yourself, all the things that my fear is showing me right now is a lie. It is a misperception. It isn't true. It's a lie. And I don't have to believe my fear anymore if I don't want to. I don't have to believe in this fear 1 second longer if I don't want to. Fear is a belief. It's a choice. I don't have to believe what my fear is showing me. So I want you to just do a brief inventory. What is it your fear is showing you? What is it your fear is telling you about this situation? And then tell yourself, and that's all a lie, because fear only lies. Now, I want you to tell yourself, the truth here is that fear, my fear, is really nothing, and love is really everything. Tell yourself that truth. This fear is nothing, and love is everything. And tell yourself, only love is true. Only the love is true. Only love is real in this situation. Only love really exists right now in this situation. Only love is real. Everything else is just something my ego's telling me so that my ego can stay in business. Only love is real. And now I want you to imagine yourself just giving love. Just extend love into this situation where there's pain and there's fear. Instead of being afraid in this situation and believing in that fear and investing in that fear and defending yourself against that fear, trying to master it, how about just extend some love? Extend love to them. Extend love to you. Extend love to everybody who, just like you, is afraid of everyone and everything. And then just say to yourself, I choose love in this situation. What would love think? How would love see this? What would love do? How is love seeing me right now? Love, how are you seeing me right now? Love, how are you seeing this situation right now? What do you know to be true right now, love? I really need to hear that because I'm hurting myself with fear, with things that aren't true. Wonderful. Thank you, love. All right, and then just take a deep breath and begin to bring your awareness back to the room, back to your body. Ah, yay. All right. Wonderful. Great job, guys. Good job. Good job coming out here and listening to what your ego does not want you to hear. You are truly spiritual badasses. And you guys are truly spiritual badasses. You are listening to the last thing on earth your ego wants you to hear. That means you're a badass, spiritual gangster. Right on. I appreciate you all coming out. I appreciate you guys joining this healing circle. And I'll see you next time I see you.